Hi, everyone. It's Phyllis, winner of 5 Tony Awards, including Best Revival of a Musical, Company, the musical comedy masterpiece about the search for love and cocktails in New York City. It also features some of Sondheim's best love songs, including Company, You Could Drive a Person Crazy, and so many more. And we are thrilled to have joining us this morning, Matt Rodin, who plays Jamie. Welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you for getting up on an early morning. I know how those things go. We were talking the other day. Congratulations on a truly stellar performance the other night, opening night. Wow.
Thank
How
you.
does it feel to be back in Chicago playing at the iconic Cadillac Theater?
Yeah, I think in all sincerity, it is a dream come true for me. I mean, this is I've been my whole life I've been seeing national tours at the Cadillac. I grew up in Northbrook and I would come down to the city and stay with my grandparents, and they would take me to see shows. I saw Avenue Q and Rent. I mean, the list is truly endless. So to
Right.
be back in that theater that was so formative in sort of who I became and who I am in terms of my love of theater and performing arts, it's incredibly special.
Can you take our viewers that don't know about the show kind of through this hilarious story?
Yeah. So, Company was written in 1971 by Stephen Sondheim and George Furth, and it was a story about a 35-year-old man who was not married. And it sort of takes us through a series of vignettes with him and his married friends, and they're sort of exploring, what does partnership mean? Why are relationships important? Does Bobby want to get married? Why isn't he married? And then in 2019, I think, Marion Elliott, the director, and Chris Harper, the producer, decided they wanted to give it a new spin, and they changed Bobby with a Y to Bobby with an IE and made it a 35-year-old woman, which in 2023 is way more relevant than a 35-year-old man
For
being
sure.
single.
Yeah.
Because obviously there are pressures on a 35-year-old woman, including her biological clock. That is something that looms over women in a way that we don't really experience as men.
Right.
And it was kind of an ingenious idea, because now when you see the show, it's hard to believe that it was ever a man playing
Right.
Bobby.
Right.
And what that gave them the privilege to do was flip a ton of the genders. So Drive a Person Crazy is now 3 men. Not Getting Married, the song that I sing, which is an incredibly famous female patter song in the musical theater canon, now gets to be sung by a man.
Right.
So in this version, it's the same general story in terms of how, we sort of follow Bobby through these relationships in her life, but now it's a woman, and all of the sort of partnerships are flipped on their head in interesting ways. Yeah.
So you get the call that you're going to be Jamie on the North American tour of Company. So what goes through your head?
Well, I have been auditioning since March. March was my first audition, and throughout that process, I to be honest with you, I really wanted the job. I really, really wanted this job, and it's such a juicy role, and the material is so good, and I loved the show when I saw it in New York.
Yep.
And by the time my final audition came around, which was back in July, it just so happened that I was getting married. So the day of my final callback was also my wedding day. So at 11 a.m., I got married to my now husband in Central Park. And at 2 p.m., I thank you. And then at 2 p.m., I was singing Not Getting Married in an audition room.
Wow.
So it was truly serendipitous in a way that I could never have planned. It felt kind of meant to be. And so when the call came through that it was going to be my job, it was obviously very overwhelming and very emotional, but it felt like the universe kind of had my back and was like, now is your time. Jamie's 31, I'm 31. It just feels like it's the right moment for me to be doing this role. And yeah, I just couldn't be more grateful, to be honest.
Oh my gosh.
And I will also say the thing that I was most excited about was that I was coming to Chicago. That, the top of my list was that I was like, oh my God, I get to go home. I get to perform at home and see so many family and friends.
Well, thank you again, Matt. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. Guys, one of the best productions you will see this year. Don't miss Company. It is playing for a limited run, October 31st through November 12th. Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Phone rings, door chimes, in comes Company. No strings, good times, room mom's company.